Okay, we live now. Okay. All right, we good money. We live now. We live, we live, we live, we live. All right, we're gonna get the people some time to get on up in here.
Yeah, it's on.
We are live. It's going through. Welcome, welcome, folks. Welcome to the live feed. We are live. My apologies. We had some technical issues the first one, but we are back and we are live now. So we're all good to go. So again, I just want to welcome all the viewers again. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate this. This is episode 4 of Uncut and Uncorked. So welcome in. Make sure you put into the chat what you're drinking on. I go excuse me, Dwayne, aka Earthly Vine. We're gonna do this all over again, right? And so then I got the lovely couple in the building with me. I got the lovely couple, Anisha and Adam, here with us today. And so it's going to be actually a really good episode. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really, really, really appreciate this. Again, put in the comments what y'all drinking on. Y'all see we drinking on some good wine. Adam and Anisha gonna get into what they drinking on, which is pretty dope. And y'all, I am excited about this one. I promise y'all I am because like I said before, this right here is a place where I feel like me, I want to be in life with with a partner of mine. They're in a really good space in life, and so I want to welcome Adam and Anisha. And I know I asked y'all this already, but I'm gonna ask y'all again. How are y'all doing today right now? How are y'all doing today?
We are way better now. Now we got
Way,
everything.
way better now. I love it.
We're still doing good, so everything's good.
Everything good. Okay. I see the art in the background. Got the paint and sip. Ain't that what it's called? It's called paint and sip, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
paint and sip.
pain
Okay.
was pain sip. It's the same thing.
Same thing. Okay. Now was you
Yeah,
now a question? Was y'all a little twisted when y'all painted those or y'all was good?
I was good, but I was struggling on this one.
Yeah.
That's why
We
mine's not showing. It's behind. It's out of the picture a little bit. Or no, this is.
no that
Oh
one
no, this one is mine.
oh no,
Yours
this
isn't
one is
showing.
mine. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we'll just cover this one up.
he was having some issues this day, but like the first one that we went to, I was having a problem. Like I was just like, let's just go this way because this is not it. But this one, he was just like, I don't like it. I was like, it's okay. We'll put
Yeah,
it
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Got too got too analytical and critical of everything, and then that messed up.
And,
So then I was slower than everybody else, and I'm trying to catch up. The couple in front of us is like having fun, and they're just going, and
Van Gogh and Picasso up
I'm
there.
sitting here like I can't even draw the sun right, and I don't know. You guys are on waves, and I'm still on the sun. I can't even get the color right.
yeah.
Like it's not dark enough. Oh wow, myself.
No, that's funny, man. That's funny, man. No, well, listen, they look good to me. Okay, I can't paint to save my life, so Adam, it look good to me, brother.
Good
So
job.
you good over there. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Uh, I wanted to ask you all too, just how are you all doing right now during quarantine? Again, I know I asked this before, but how are you all doing right now just with quarantine? With this whole pandemic thing, everything going on right now. Just how are you two versus individuals too, first, right? But then also like as a couple in a sense too.
Gaining weight.
Okay.
It was it was a stretch. We oh gosh, we gained a lot of weight to begin with, but returning it, we had like a spurt where we just like lost it all, and then
Okay.
we gained it back again, and now
Okay.
we're in the process of losing it again. So
Okay.
it was kind of it was rough with that in that
Mhm.
kind of transition, but other than that, everything has been like fine. We've had a lot of blessings during the pandemic, to be honest. So it's been pretty different.
Wow, that's dope. That's amazing. Okay. Do you feel like the pandemic, like, I mean, I guess I kind of know the answer to this question, but like, how has it kind of strengthened your relationship in a sense?
Yeah, well, everybody will know the answer to that soon. I mean, we definitely moved, one step further in our relationship during the pandemic. Things have been going very, very well. We've started implementing a lot of different things as far as just tools in the toolkit for us to always fall back on. to make sure that our foundation is always there and it's always strong, and anything that we build on top of that is, just icing on the cake. So yeah, it's been a lot of work, but a lot of good work, a lot of self discovery and discovery of who we are in these relationships.
Yeah, we can get into like the tips and stuff that we have.
Yeah, and the specifics.
We've done like we make sure that since we can't go out, like we make sure we have date night here. We just did something last night, so like we have ways of getting around to those things and stuff like that, and keeping everything like still together and stuff.
Wow. No, that's beautiful that y'all say that, and I know we're gonna get into the conversation, but a lot of couples unfortunately didn't make it over the quarantine season. They for whatever reason didn't make it, and so the fact that it really strengthened y'all relationship and it brought y'all closer, and y'all doing great things now with that and working together to do those things is amazing. So just want to give y'all flowers back. Like I said, it broke some, but it made y'all stronger because we here with the topic today. She said yes. And she did say yes, so which is dope. But no, I see I see you drinking. I see you sipping. So what you sipping on, Anisha?
And please be aware, our dog is sitting over here.
So if y'all hear him,
he's going crazy on his leg right now, and I don't know why.
He's chewing his leg. That's him hitting the wall. Zamora, it's a young semi-sweet Cabernet. Pretty good.
Okay. And it's a red, right?
In our Mr. and Mrs. glasses.
Hey, look at y'all. Yeah, silly, man. Okay, cool. No, I love it. Okay, and how much did the wine cost, bro?
That actually was like $10.99.
Yeah.
We got wine and spirits, and it was $10.99.
$10.99. That ain't bad. Definitely might have to try it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think the first one I bought because I was so excited to try it, and Adam did not realize it was in the front seat, and he opened the door and it fell out and it just splattered everywhere on the ground.
No, and you had Braxton in the back seat trying to jump into the front seat.
Oh, then he was trying to
kick it out.
Yeah, he kicked it out.
He was trying to get out of the car.
That's where the first bottle went. So.
Yeah. But no, it's a good pickup for sure. Definitely.
Okay. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. Well, I'm over here drinking on a red myself, actually. So again, make sure y'all put into the comments what y'all drinking on, whether it's water, whether it's Hennessy, whether it's wine, tequila, whatever. Somebody said, don't blame it on Braxton.
We blame him for a lot.
But no, I'm over here drinking on man, this is wine, it's a California wine called Cline. I don't know if I can see that. 2018 Zinfandel. Zinfandel. I always mispronounce that way, but it's really good actually. I know Anisha, I know you don't like the dry wines, but it is dry. It got about 14% alcohol in it. It's really good. It's really good with like meats, any kind of meat, specifically fish though. It's really good with fish as well. Only costs about $12.99 at I got it from Benny's here, which is our like local wine and spirits here. So you can get it from Benny's, you can get it from Total Wine, you can get it from Wine and Spirits, wherever. But it's actually really good. I guess like the acidity is kind of high in it. So if you're not big on acidity or like that sweet taste that hits your mouth when you first drink wine or any kind of drink, then you probably don't want this. But it's pretty good though. I like it though. So
we'll have to add to the list.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. So it's called Cline again. It's also on my Instagram page. Make sure y'all go follow my Instagram page, Earthly Vine, and you can see some more details about it right then and there. So yeah. But I want to get into the topic of the day. I want to get into all of it, right? She said yes, how it happened, the ring, when the date. I got all the questions, okay? All the questions. Can't wait to get into it and talk about that. First of all, again, y'all, this is Uncut and Uncorked. This is the first season. The first season, for those who don't know, is called Black Love, right? And so the first season is on Black Love. And so when we talk about Black Love, we want to celebrate Black love and specifically Black individuals who are in love. And so I had to reach out. For those who don't know, me and Adam, we known each other for about 4 to 5 years. Actually 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Since we've known each other. So I reached out to my brother and asked, would him and his lovely fiance love to come on the show? And I also know, I knew of Anisha. I never really knew her, but I knew of her because of, her being around with, the frat and everything like that. So, which was dope. And so I had to get them to come on here, which is dope. But I want to get into the first question. And folks, if y'all have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we could definitely get to y'all questions. So feel free to put them in the chat if y'all want to. But I want to talk about how, explain how you two met each other in a sense. Let's go back, right? We want to go back. So explain the story of how y'all met, and I want to hear it from both of y'all, right? Because I feel like when couples explain this, it's always a different, there's slightly different details within the story. So I guess Anisha, let's start with you. How did explain how you two first met and came together?
Oh Lord. Okay, so for the record, I did not know who this man was. Okay, I'm gonna just put it out there. I did not know who he was at all. So, I guess you could say I was Instagram popping, as they would say. After I became a sweetheart and stuff like that. So, this one day, shout out to LaShonda. So this one day, Adam, I guess I was in a relationship, minding my business and stuff like that.
Minding my business.
Minding my business, okay. After that, me and that person, split up and everything like that. So I'm still minding my business. And one day I get a DM from LaShonda, and it's a video of him sending me a message talking about what people used to call me Snicks. Yo, Snicks, you need to quit playing with me. You need to quit playing with me. I'm trying to get with you. And I was like, no. So I just was like, LaShonda, who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Adam. I was like, okay, you could tell him no, I'm good. Just with that.
Yeah.
I'm just, still going about my day. Probably maybe some months after that. I made a post. This is when I started getting, a little bit more mature, I guess. And it's just nobody likes to have deep conversations and stuff like that. And he messaged me and was like, oh, I like having deep conversations. So I was like, okay, well, whenever you're ready, here's my number. And I just sent it to him.
Okay.
Then I texted him, and then I was like, something crazy. I've never noticed that you liked any of my Instagram pictures ever.
Hold on, Adam didn't like your pictures?
He never did. And he was like, I did that on purpose. And I was like, why? He was like, because you can notice all of the people that like your pictures, but you're going to notice who doesn't like your pictures.
Listen, that's why listen, okay, brother, I see you. I'm going to let you keep going. I'm sorry.
So I was like, oh, okay, all right.
You messed me up with that one, didn't you?
It was history. His when he tells his story, it's gonna be a little bit more detailed because he's been plotting. He was plotting.
As the famous Kendrick Lamar would say, you're either corny or you're an opportunist. So I'm an opportunist. But it's funny you said, because you segued into it, Dwayne. You said, I knew of her, I didn't really know her. So since we both crossed at the same time, anytime her chapter was with ours, I wasn't there because you knew I was either at drill or I had some ROTC event or I had track. So I was very busy in college. So when she was with us, I wasn't there. When her chapter was down there, we were with them. She wasn't there.
It's like we just had crossed paths. We would not see each other at all.
So I followed her on Instagram when I had it for about 2 years to that point. So 2016 all the way through towards 2018.
Okay.
And that's when I sent the video through LaShonda, because LaShonda and them, they knew her line and would talk to them all the time. Yeah. So I was getting little updates here and there. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I'm gonna try to plant the seed real quick. So I sent that video. I was like, put me on. I sent the video. And I was like, send it to her right now and let me see. So she sent it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I didn't worry about it after that. I'm like,
Okay.
cool. If it happens, it happens. If it
Yeah.
doesn't,
Yeah.
at least I know that I shot my shot, and I'm good with that. At least I got the opportunity to.
Yeah.
Then she missed one thing. So before I had reached out in her DMs on her post, you know those little riddle games that you just post on some on your social media, and if you lose, you gotta post it. So
Okay.
I lost to somebody. So I was like, I don't usually do these, but I thought I knew the answer. So I lost. I was like, all right, let me post this. So I posted, not thinking anybody was gonna respond. And then she responds to it. She gets it wrong. Then we figure out that the answer that everybody was saying you were wrong to was actually the right answer.
Yeah.
So we went back and forth through that. And then it was like weeks or so later after that, she had put that post up there, and I saw her in a different light. So why I didn't like any of her photos was on purpose, because she was somewhat Instagram famous. She was getting like averaging like 200 to 300 likes a photo. So it's like, why am I going to, like any of your photos? And she was, she was well dressed in them. Like, it wasn't like she was doing anything crazy out here. It's just she was getting a lot of likes. And then if you look at her comments, there's a lot of guys in her comments. I'm like, I'm not gonna put my name in the hat for you to for me to be white noise, all the other white noise.
Whoa.
So then when I talked to her about it, when I got her number, we started talking, and things just started like going fast from there pretty quick. And then I told her, I was like, we got on that conversation, and I was like, yeah, I never liked any of your photos on purpose, because I'm not gonna be one of the guys that your comments all the time, looking thirsty, liking 12 pictures at a time so you notice me. Like, that's stupid. I'd rather be calculated. The fact that you noticed that I didn't like any of your photos, you was upset about it at first. And I was like, that. But see, I got noticed that you couldn't find me on anything.
Yeah.
So that's I slid in the DM. So it's a true millennial. It's a true millennial
love story.
It's true millennial lust. But you know what's crazy? I know Adam, so like I can see. And granted, I didn't know the backstory. Like I knew of them two, of course, being a couple and being engaged, but I didn't know the backstory of how they met. Adam's always been a calculated guy, so I'm gonna just throw that out there right there. So the fact that he went about it that way does not shock me by any means. It does, because he's always trying to be cerebral. He's always trying to be a step above ahead of someone. So it doesn't shock me that he went about it that way, which is a total Adam move, by the way. But it was a smooth move as well, but a total Adam move.
I'm not that smooth to just walk up at a party to somebody and just start talking like
he
that.
says it every single time.
I had to notice something. It has to be something to where I know I can spark like an interest and get an opportunity. I was never the guy to just walk up and just start talking to you, and then that's
and like we'll say that like what if it was split? Like, what if we did like see each other in the club and he's just like, no, that's not what happened. So let's not.
Yeah, I was like, if we saw each other at a party or in the club, one, you might not have noticed me unless I was strolling, and then two,
like, oh, I would have shimmied on you. And I was like, and I probably would have kicked you. Like, get away from me. Like, let's not. And then two, if there wasn't like an event, like a fight broke out or somebody was picking up their nose or doing something weird, and we both didn't catch it at the same time, I would have nothing to approach her with. In my mind. So it's just like, I'm not going to approach you until I figure that out, and then I can go ahead and talk to you. So it's definitely calculated. That's how I've always been. So
that makes sense. No, you definitely have been. And for those who don't know, to give y'all some backstory, Adam and I are chapter brothers. So we're in the same fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, yo to the noobs. And then Anisha is a Kappa sweetheart. And so for those who don't know, she's a Kappa sweetheart. So just to kind of give you some backstory of what they're talking about in terms of strolling and meeting chapters and all that stuff. That's what they're talking about. But I want to give a shout out to LaShonda, because LaShonda got a lot to do with this love story.
It really does, and I don't think like she knows she does, but like she has so much to do like in the situation. But like every single time like we see her, and she's just like, look at this. I'm like, look at this. She knows.
We're so close. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite lines. I guess.
Well, you can't say that.
I don't really have a favorite. I don't keep favorites, but LaShawn and I were there at Slippery Rock the longest. But we were always together. Her, y'all, and myself were always together. So LaShawn and I were day in and day out, talking, hanging out, whatever, playing cards with people, like with the brothers. Like it was always like that. So I would get all of my intel from her, and Kiana and whoever else knew I would get my intel from them. So
Yeah,
gotta keep the ear to the streets.
got to, good brother. Uh, okay. Now this thing, right? Y'all met, right? Y'all met. So y'all met each other. You know, y'all got to know each other, all this and that, right? At some point in time in that journey, that L word came about, right? The L word. You know what I'm talking about? That LOVE word, the love word, right? Which to some people can be frightening, but for some people it can be so affirming and just feel great. So I want, you know, Adam, we're gonna start with you this time. I want you to talk about when you realized you love Anisha. Like you like, oh my God, like and what did that like where were you at in that like when that came about? What were you doing? And how did you realize like, damn, like I really love her? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so there was some, and I won't go into details because that's our private thing, but
For
there was
sure.
some I guess you could call skeletons in the closet that I was like, all right, me being who I am approaching this relationship just because of where we were in our lifetimes. She was getting ready to go be a flight attendant at the time, and I was getting ready to go to Fort Lee to do my basic officer course for about 4 months. So dating scene ain't really the greatest if you're going away for like 4 months and then she's gonna be in a totally different state. So I was like, look, I gotta do the right thing of telling everything that I can all in the beginning. When I feel it's time to tell her that. But get it out in the beginning so that, we're not 4, 5, 6 months into this thing and you're finding out maybe not by me, but by somebody else. Or you're finding out about it and it totally changes your perception of who I am. So it's like, I want her to know about me from the jump and then get to decide on top of that. Because either way, I'm gonna be cool. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But at least I did my due diligence. So it was just one night we were talking, things were clicking, and I was feeling that pressure in myself. I was like, I gotta tell her this. Like, this is the time to give her this piece of information. So when I did, I was like, all right, let me see what her reaction is. And she was just like, Adam, dot, dot, dot. I was struggling with the same thing.
Wow.
I was like, boom, like a total weight lifted off my shoulders. And if Ronnie's on here, shout out to him. I told him like the next day, I was like, bro, this is the one. Like, this was who was created for me. I'm not gonna believe anything else. Like, I just I can't, because it's just, I'm not gonna believe anything else about it. I prayed about it. I told her all this stuff, and it was just like boom. And I was like, it was so uncanny to find that in a person. So I was like, oh wow, yeah, this is it. That was the time I knew, and I told him, I was like, this is it. And then he was like, oh well, you never know. Just give it time. Just give it time. And then I told him, because he knew what I was going through, and I told him about it, and I was like, bro, it's we both share the same struggle. And he was like, oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. So I was like, "Dude, it's it." So that was it, and the rest was history from that point on, from my perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first time I knew in myself that I loved her, even if I didn't say it yet. I already knew it.
That's beautiful, bro. That's and it's so beautiful to hear because I know your growth, right? I know young Adam, okay? You know, I know young Adam. We're not gonna talk about that, but I know young Adam, you know, and so yeah, Anisha, we'll get to you. Let's hear your perspective on
Um, I would say kind of like the same. It was like the same situation. It was the same. Yeah, like the same situation. It just was. It's a little bit hard. It was just a little bit harder. Kind of dealing with it. But you know, when we kind of just like, you know, spoke about it and things like that, it just was like, okay, this is good. After that, we did have another situation where we had to we were being honest with each other with like some things and stuff like that, which I'm not going to detail about that either. But I was at training and I was getting ready to take my final evacuation test, which is like a really big test when you're a flight attendant and stuff like that. Because like that's if you don't pass it, you're kind of like you're kind of done.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I was getting ready to do that, studying for that and stuff like that, and he dropped another bomb on me, and I was just like, "Hold on, wait a minute, like what is this?" Um, but from then, like right then and there, I had a choice. Like I had to come up with like a choice if this was something that I would keep, like if I wanted to stay and deal with him,
Mm.
or if I would take the easy way out and leave.
Mm.
If I had already knew that I was in love with this man, then the taking the easy road out by leaving was not the option.
Mm.
It was sitting there and dealing with it with him and, you know, kind of like figuring these things out. So,
Yeah.
you know, I kind of just like, you know, told him like, hey, you know, this is kind of hard for me to like, you know, take in,
Yeah.
but I'm not leaving you.
Wow.
And it's probably going to take a little bit for me to kind of get over this, but I'm not leaving you.
Wow.
And now that I look back on it, I'm glad that I didn't leave. It was pretty significant, but you know, I'm glad that I didn't leave because we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be talking, you know, to everybody like this and being so honest and open.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be supporting other people that are in relationships and stuff like that and all this other stuff, you know. So I'm really glad that I stayed. So then I knew that I really loved him because I heard something about like past situations, and I didn't judge him for that. And that's when I knew that I was maturing and that I actually loved him because old me would have just been like, no, I'm good. Like, no, I'm good. So
Mm.
that took a lot. That took a lot out of me and took a lot of, you know, kind of just seeing like if this is really what it's supposed to be, and stuff like that. Because, you know, people talk.
Yeah.
So I was more worried about that. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I chose what I truly wanted to do in my heart, which was stay. And right now we're better than ever.
Yes. That's man. That's so powerful. Like the energy I felt from that was so powerful because I always say, judge a person for who they are and not for who they
Mhm,
was.
mhm.
So the fact that you judged Adam, like you took Adam for who he is at that moment, and not his past in a sense, it's beautiful, right? Because like you said, you could have easily been like, nah, I'm good, I'm gonna go find me somebody else, or I'm gonna just be
Right,
single for a minute, or whatever the case may be. But you accepted that man for who he was and who he
right,
gave you, and knowing Adam, he was genuine about who he like who he was at that time and who he is now, and you still accepted it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's beautiful, and I love to hear it, and I'm happy you all stayed together, right? Because we formally created this beautiful moment, but hopefully next year and the year after that, you're gonna have another beautiful moment, which is that wedding day eventually, which is
yes,
so,
yes,
that's beautiful to hear. That's beautiful to hear. Which is it actually, when hearing that, it kind of actually leads me to my next question because we talked about when y'all first met. We talked about when y'all first realized y'all loved each other, but everything in the relationship wasn't always so good. And y'all kind of just spoke about that. But I guess like another aspect of that is, whenever you're in a relationship with any friend or a partner, there's always going to be disagreements, right?
oh yeah.
And so where I guess when did you all have your first disagreement, or not even when, but just when it comes to disagreements, like how do you all handle disagreements? Between the two of you. So if Adam doesn't agree with this, or Anisha doesn't agree with this, and then how do y'all move forward with that and kind of work through that when y'all have a disagreement? Because I don't even like to call them arguments. I feel like if you communicate healthy, it's just a disagreement, and you can work through it and you can talk through it. So how do you all do that as a couple?
So we, because our therapist would say that our disagreements are so childish.
Yes, our therapist. That's exactly what I was gonna say if I was gonna talk first. Our therapist, we decided to do couples counseling, and every time that we log on to talk to her, she still is just like, I'm not understanding why you guys keep coming back. Like, I don't understand what you guys need to talk to me about. Like, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Her thing is like when she listens to the things that we've argued or not argued about, disagreed about from like the previous time since we last saw her, she's like, you do realize that all of these things that you're disagreeing about has nothing to do with you. Like it'll be like, let's say for instance, you say something like chicken digests better than steak. Me and him will literally disagree, and this disagreement will last for like a day or two. And I'm like, so did you do the research? Did you see that red meat does not digest better than chicken? And he will be like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We'll just take it to the table when we get into counseling. Because like I'm not understanding what you're not understanding from me.
It's real petty stuff.
It's so stupid.
So when we get into those, we try to remind ourselves, and I've been preaching this, and we do it a lot more times now than not, is we work as a team trying to attack the problem, not attacking each other and trying to find the solution to whatever the problem is. So we just try to play that part where we're standing side by side looking at the problem and just throwing ideas to fix it. And then whatever idea sticks, we run with it until it stops working or it solves the problem. And we just keep reassessing and refining what we do and just keep going. And then knowing that each other's emotions are very valid.
I tried to do the little, tried to read your mind and I missed it.
Making sure that we keep it to account that our emotions on something are very valid. So not to disrespect those emotions and to accept them, apologize for where you were wrong, and all right, where do we go from here? And keep it pushing. That's really it.
Definitely.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it's beautiful to, I'm sorry, go ahead, Adam. I didn't mean to cut you off.
And the other thing that she was telling us about is what she calls staples. So good moments of, I guess, triumphant moments of when we overcame what probably our worst disagreements or whatever the case was, and thinking back on those memories as staples so that you can always fall back on that when stuff starts to get hard or stuff just gets a little bit boring. Having a staple for each of those down times in your relationship and looking back on those and then either trying to replicate that or use that as a good catalyst to start that upward trend back again. So those are some of the things that we do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And one thing that really stuck out to me was counseling. And y'all going to therapy, which is amazing because whether it's relationship, personal counseling, like I always say, like everybody can use counseling.
Oh, yes. My friend and anybody that really like knows me, especially now, like being older, anybody that's on here, Laura that's on here, Jasmine that's on here, they will know that I advocate for counseling. Like that is just something that I do. And that's just something like, individual, couples, family, because like if you can't, like if you're not 100% ready, yourself, you can't give yourself to somebody else. Like that's not going to work. That's just going to bring in more issues, and it's just going to be more of like a struggle on, I'm not saying you can't overcome it, because you can, but it's going to be more of a task at hand for the both of you to kind of fix this issue. So I do advocate for couples counseling, just individuals and family, just because like a lot of people do go through traumatic experiences and things like that that can hinder them from finding their true love and their destiny when it comes with life and things like that.
And the earlier the better, because the way I see it and I put it to people is, so we didn't do counseling because we were in a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
We got to a good place financially to where we could afford it, and from day one of us being together, that was something that we both wanted to do. So we sought out mentors like Dre to help us out, and just sought out different relationship mentors that we wanted to aspire to be, and would ask them questions, work through things as far as communication, to then get to the step of when we could go to a formal counselor and start that process. But you would never put a football team on the field without a coaching staff around them.
Talk about it.
So if I'm expecting to put an NFL team on the field, never having a coaching staff around them and tell them to go win the Super Bowl, it's not going to happen. You've already been designed to fail. And that's for families, for yourself, for your relationship. Nobody was taught. There's probably very little people, so I won't say nobody, but there's probably very little families or relationships that are actually taught the skills necessary to have a healthy relationship and to build a good foundation and to go from there and not have it be a house of cards to when something happens, boom, everything comes crashing down and you have all these false positives in your relationship going on, and you're not supposed to be in that relationship. Who knows? But you need somebody to guide you and direct you and to give you those tools to be successful. So there's no sport that you've ever done in life where you didn't have a coach. There was, if you wanted to learn a instrument, you had a teacher to teach you that instrument. Even when if you need physical therapy, you have a physical therapist. If you need to go get a checkup at a doctor's office, you have a doctor. So why is it that when it comes to stuff that's up here in the brain, we just don't do anything for it and feel like we have everything that we need to go ahead and it doesn't make sense. So that's a great thing that we try to advocate for everybody. It's like, if you can do it, do it. Push for it early and often, and then you can get off of it. You don't have to be on it for that long.
Yeah.
We haven't seen our therapist in like
she
months.
doesn't even know that we're engaged. So
we saw her the week before the engagement, and we've been trying to work. Her schedule fills up so fast, so we've been trying to work to get on her schedule since then. Like, she doesn't even know, but it's like we don't see her every week or every other week or anything.
Okay.
Like that. If you need it that bad, you already let things get to the worst possible point. And it's harder to work back from it. It's not impossible, but it's harder to work back from that than if you're just like, all right, this is something new. I just want to learn how this person learns, how they grow, what's important to them, how they communicate, how they want to be apologized to, how they want to be talked to, stuff like that you get to learn through these sessions that most people are not teaching.
Yeah, very true. No, very true. And I like I said, I'm a big firm believer in counseling too. I go to counseling weekly. Every Thursday at 9 a.m. I'm in my counseling session. So I always recommend folks to do counseling, whether you're in a relationship, it can help, but just personally as well, it can help too, right? And when I mean a counselor, I mean a licensed therapist, not a best friend. And so I feel like that's really important because it can really help you a lot. And I preach that a lot on the show, and y'all have heard me say that before, but I just want to kind of reiterate that because Adam and Anisha really drove it home with that, and I'm a firm believer in that too. With that being said, though, I want to get into the day, right? The day this whole topic came to fruition, right? And so the title of this episode, as y'all know, is that She Said Yes. And so I want to get to the day of that because I feel like we talked about how y'all met. We talked about when y'all realized y'all loved each other. We talked about even like disagreements that y'all had and how y'all been in therapy and all of that. But I want now going starting from the beginning, getting to the bumps in the relationship, and now getting to where you're at today, which is when Anisha said yes. I want to start with you on this because I guess I'm interested just as a man knowing this. Like, what was it like for you that day? Like, just leading up to, because we talked about it off camera, but on camera, like, what was it like? Just leading up to that day, what was that like for you? Like, what did the process?
Talk about me like a dog. I'm telling you right now.
So to be completely honest, it wasn't stressful. So anybody that thinks that planning out, like any man that thinks or woman, whoever is going to be proposing thinks that planning out a proposal has to be this stressful event, it really doesn't have to be. You have to have great people around you. Like if you have a great team around you, it makes things so much easier. So a couple of shout outs. So let me backtrack before I go into that. So like I said, I think when we first started and then we had to get off and come back on. 2020 was from the beginning. I felt it was gonna be a good year. So we were in Baltimore for New Year's. We were probably like 15 minutes from our apartment. We were at an Airbnb with some friends. Dre was there, Street. So some other noobs were there, some other friends. So we had a good time. And I remember telling a few people when Anisha was away, I remember telling them, I'm going to propose to Anisha this year. Like it's going to happen. 2020 is my year. Then I text Ronnie and his cousin George, because I'm close with George as well. And I remember telling them that too. I'm proposing this year. Like I don't know when. Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I knew it was going to happen. Period. It just gonna happen by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So then, Vashti, shout out to Vashti or Shot on My Web. You guys can follow her and see our. If you go on her Facebook, you can see our engagement video on there. Instagram, the whole production. So she was there too, and she was like, "Well, if you need a photographer, let me know. I'm giving out specials for family and friends." I was like, "I will keep that in mind." So then it was coming around July-ish, like.
You forgot to tell them about the video.
Video?
When Mo was recording what we were gonna do for 2020.
Remember? I don't remember that video.
Okay, so Dre's wife Mo was like going up to people and was just like, "What are you hoping for 2020?"
Okay.
And she got to him and he was like, "Oh, I'm hoping for an engagement 2020." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Right? Yeah, I remember it. I remember it till this day, and I will tell my kids that.
Yeah.
It was just like, what are y'all doing for 2020 and stuff like that? Like, what are y'all hoping for? And he was like, I'm hoping for a ring on her finger. And I was like, period. Okay.
Your brother was already manifesting that.
Right.
Manifesting. So then stuff started happening. Like I said, it took a turn for the better once the pandemic hit. So I got put on orders for COVID through my unit. So I made a little extra money. And I was able to pay down some stuff and save some of it. And I was like, all right, I got enough for what I budgeted out for a ring. Anyways, so now I'm starting ring shopping. So now I'm talking to people. I'm talking to her mom about it. Like one of her best friends about it. Like we're starting to get plans together because I was gonna have it in Ohio originally. Okay. So her family's so we were gonna have it there. I wanted her granddad to be there because he doesn't really travel anywhere besides Alabama and Toledo. Like those are only like two places barely that he goes. So I was like, we'll try to do it for it was gonna be what's the holiday right after the 4th of July? Labor Day weekend. I was mixed up with Memorial Day. So Labor Day weekend we were gonna do it, have like a little party. So my birthday is on the 2nd of August, hers is on the 4th, and her dad's is on the 11th. So we were gonna make it we're gonna do a joint birthday party in Cleveland, and then I was gonna propose there.
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah, but it got blown up. The plan got blown to shreds. So we're driving for the 4th of July, driving the weekend that I asked for her dad's, I asked her dad for his approval. Yeah. To marry his daughter. So I wasn't going to do it then, but I had already purchased the ring. Now the ring was on, because of COVID, was on back order till August 6th. Okay. So I was like, regardless, that weekend is going to work because I'll have it. I'll go pick it up in store on August 6th. So we'll be good. Okay. So I'm driving the car. I was like, hey, can you text? I can't remember who I had to text back. Oh my God. But I was like, hey, can you text this person back? They just text me. And she opens up the phone and she starts texting. She sees somebody's thread
right there in my face.
She didn't see the pictures. She saw a thread saying, I got the ring.
Oh man.
So then we got into a couple disagreements. And she was just like, I don't want you proposing this
I
year
was
because
so
now
mad.
she's got her head on a swivel thinking that I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just all right. So I had to go back to the drawing board, reassess. I talked to Dre, and he was just like, all right, just give it like a couple weeks and then go ahead and do it. I was like, no, I gotta plan this. So then I started talking to Vashti again. I'm like, look, the plan is changed. We gotta wait.
Yeah.
And then I got the idea through talking to her. Why don't we just do it in Baltimore? She won't know. I can bring some of her family out here. It might be, it's not going to be everybody, but I could get some people out here.
Yeah.
And we'll get this all figured out and she won't know anything. It'll be a huge surprise. So I had Dre in on it. I had him set up like, hey, we haven't had a little family get together like we've done since New Year's. I want to have like we're going to have just a dinner. And we're going to all go out and hang out and stuff like that. No, the last one was his wife's birthday. Because then COVID hit and then So he's like, we haven't gotten together since Mo's birthday. We gonna do something and then so that's how I set it up.
Okay.
For the date that I was gonna propose. Another hurdle comes. Her childhood best friend got proposed to.
Right there. No, she got married. She was getting married.
No, she got proposed to while I was planning.
Oh yeah, she got proposed to.
And then she got married the day that I was going to propose.
Yeah, he was
October 17th.
And that was quick. Okay.
Oh, it was a 5-month turnaround. I was like, you got proposed to. I was like, okay, great. That's I'm happy for them, right? I'm seeing it on social media.
She is a wife, okay? A wife.
And so Anisha kept talking. She was like, I hope I'm gonna be in the wedding. Like she thought
I was
she was
like,
gonna be to be in the wedding. And I was like, this is gonna blow up my plan for the second time. This isn't gonna happen. So I'm not sure, and Ashanti can, I guess, verify. I asked your mother if somebody could reach out to her and just say, hey, could you please not invite Anisha to the wedding or to be in the wedding? She's getting proposed to that day.
Yeah.
And we rather mess up anything. So I had that covered, and we were like, all right, we got the green light. So I'm like, all right, cool, we're good. So we're planning everything out, and the two people that I need to shout out is Brandon Bennett, my line brother from Pitt, and his girlfriend Bianca.
Oh my gosh.
Were amazing. Bianca and her twin are from Baltimore. Her family's all from here. So she was able to get us a caterer. Like her cousin, I think her aunt had like a catering business.
Okay.
We were able to get a caterer like set, ready to go. Every day, those two, we were in a group message. They were sending me just like, here's this space, and here's that space, and here's this space. This is how much this costs. Oh, my sister and cousin are gonna go look at this space in like a couple days if you want to hear about it. Oh, my uncle's got another space over here. So I was like, okay, cool. Because then the guest list started getting bigger. So I was only planning on like 15, 20 people.
Okay.
And her mom was like, oh, all the people from Ohio, which is like 15 of us anyways, have our hotels booked, and we are all ready to go. We have our
come through.
We have our hotels booked. So I was like, oh, we're gonna need a space for like almost 50 people to make this COVID friendly. We got a space. It wasn't that expensive compared to all the other spaces that we were seeing.
Okay.
We looked it up. I went and saw the space the day before. So that Friday, I went to go see the space. We saw the courtyard. We got everything set up. Bianca had her sister make these little like candle wooden boxes that they were letters. So it said "Marry Me," and then it had the fake candles in it. And then we got her favorite flowers. Got a little red like carpet thingy to go down and had them set up on chairs. So they got everything prepared. We're still keeping up with this lie that we're going out somewhere. So Anisha,
he was lying.
I was lying on my teeth.
Lying. And I can't wait to tell my portion.
A couple days beforehand, she was like, "Oh, what restaurant are we going to?"
Okay.
Because I want to know.
I need to look at the menu.
So I was like, I'm little panicked. I'm like, Dre, I don't know what restaurant to tell her. We never gave her a restaurant.
Okay. Okay.
Just look something up and you'll be good. So I looked up this restaurant. I was like, this looks nice enough for the dress attire that I said for him to tell her to be ready. So I sent it to her, and she's going for days like, oh, like, I'm gonna get this.
I was like, I'm gonna get this. Can I get this?
Yeah.
Like, this is so good. He's talking to me on my lunch break. I'm like, yeah. No, that's not what's gonna happen. So I'm just playing along with it. We get picked up at the hotel that I had gotten for us. Everybody's sitting there. Oh, you didn't know this. Dre, Ronnie, and no, not Dre. Sorry, Ronnie, George.
Did you say they was coming into the hotel?
And Ashley were all staying
at the same
same hotel at the same time. So I weren't in the lobby when we were coming in or leaving.
Okay.
So then he picks us up, and he's like, "Hey, we gotta go pick up my wife. She's at her friend's like apartment, so we're gonna go right down the street." And that was where the spot was. He takes her in. I have people, all the families like hiding out.
Like, wait, he was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Is there a bathroom in the store?
Yeah. I'm trying to find the bathroom because I had BB staged near the bathroom so that he could give me the microphones that Vashti needed me to wear.
Okay.
Which ended up not using the microphone anyways. Or I had it, but it wasn't connected. So it just didn't end up working.
Okay.
So Dre was going to take her up in the elevator and then take her, act like he was lost and call him Mo, and then go down this stairwell so that she could lead out into the courtyard.
Okay.
Vashti, she was sitting in the back. So whenever y'all see it, you see the photographer standing behind her. She's like in the corner. So BB wasn't there at the time that I needed to get the microphone. So it ended up taking a little bit. So Dre was running her up and down.
He kept taking me up and down the stairs. He was like going up and down the stairs.
This was the only stress that I caught because they were like, Adam, you need to get up there. So I was like, audible. I'm going to go straight to the courtyard because I was just going to meet up with them and walk out with her and then her see it. And then she is surprised, like, wait, is this happening? Okay. So I was like, audible. I'm going to go to the spot. I'm going to stay there. And then Dre just bring her out. So then he brought her out. The video still worked. Everything else still worked. And then it was in front of glass. So she couldn't see because I had her facing me. So then I had the families funneling up the steps so that they could see the proposal and like take their pictures or whatever they wanted. And then it was going to be like a 1-2 punch. She gets proposed to, and then thinks we're going to this dinner. And then she turns around, all of her family's there, my family's there. And we go downstairs and we go eat and just have a good time. So that's how, and that took from the time that the plans got blown up, it was probably like 2 or 3 months in full to like plan that thing.
And I'm looking at the comments now. Favorite phrase that I said in there was, "Are you serious?" Because I don't take anything that he says, and I just like, "You serious right now?" That's literally what everybody was just laughing at, was the fact that I asked him, "Are you serious right now?" Like, I just walked out and I was like, "Are you serious?" Laura and Deja know for sure, and those are my right eyes right there. But they know, like, it was like, "Are you serious?" Like, and they just made fun of me from there. So there's that.
Listen, shout out to, is it Laura and is it Ashante?
Laura and Deja. They're sweethearts too. So they know.
Shout out to Laura and Deja for tuning in. I think Ashante put some stuff in there. Ania. So shout out to all y'all for being in the comments via YouTube. But no, brother, that sounded like that was a lot. So shout out to you for coming through and being accurate and being consistent with all of that. Anisha, how was that for you being on? Because it sounds like the first question you said, "Are you serious?" So like, when seeing Adam proposing to you, how was that feeling for you? You know,
it was a lot. I mean, because like it was just crazy. Because like Bianca was like texting me like like a week or so, like, cousin, I'm coming down. I need to get my nails done. You coming with me? I said, no, girl, I'm not going with you. And she was like, but like, I really need you to go with me. So Adam had said that he texted her and was like, I need her to get her nails done. But like, I can't, like, you gotta be subtle with it, because she's very stubborn. And so I'm very stubborn. So he was like telling her, like, this is how you gotta do it. She's like, I got it. She kept texting me, and she's just like, cousin, I'm serious. Like, we need to get our nails done. I said, girl, I am not going with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get my nails done. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I was like, I hate sitting in the shop. I like the finished product, but I hate sitting in the shop. It takes too long. So no. I was like, how about this? How about, I tell you what, I'll go get my feet done, but I'm not getting my nails done.
And I get my nails done. Yeah.
She was like, girl, I'll pay for it. I said, okay, let's go. So she came, she got me. We go, and the whole time that I'm in there, I'm watching Ashanti's wedding on live. Like, I was just like, look at this. Like,
Yeah.
this is so and I had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
So I get back to the house. We pack our bag and stuff. Person's already gone. So we go to the hotel and stuff like that. And we go up there, and I'm like, all right, well, let me sit down and look at this menu one more time to make sure that this is what I want. So I sat down, looked at the food menu again, and was like, babe, I think I want this instead. Like, I was like, this sounds like fire. And he was like, you can get whatever you want. I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna go in there and go do my makeup. He didn't say this part. When I was in the bathroom doing my makeup, he was pacing back and forth in the other room. Like, he was just like, he said he was pacing. He was pacing. He was pacing.
I wasn't nervous up until that point. And then it was just like, I was going over, rehearsing what I was going to say, changing it, rehearsing it, changing it, rehearsing it. Yeah. I was like, this is a little bit stressful.
Yeah. He was pacing, and I'm just like, I didn't know he was in there pacing, but like, I was just talking to him, asking him questions and stuff like that. So then he's like, okay, Dre's coming. So we go downstairs, get in the car, and we pull up to the apartment. Mind you, he's like, we gotta go pick up Mo. So I was like, okay. So it's like, all right, maybe this is Courtney's apartment. I've never been here, so that's fine. And I get out, and then Adam's just like, I was in the bathroom. I was like, oh, okay. So he goes to the bathroom. Dre's like, we can go up because I know where I think I know where Courtney lives. And I was like, think? Okay. I'm in Heels. We take the elevator. We get up to like the third floor. And then he's like, I am on the wrong floor, sister. I'm so sorry. So I was like, so then he's like, come on. And so then he's like going down, and we go back in the elevator. And then he's like, we gotta go back up. And I was like, we're going where? He's like, we have to go back upstairs. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So then, well, let me call Mo. And then so like he picks his phone out, and he's like, my phone won't work. It won't turn on. And I was like, did you charge it? And he was like, yeah, I charged it. And I was like, so why won't it turn on? I was like, let me see. And I went to go grab it. He's like, no, it's not working. It's just not working. So I was like, okay. So we get back in the elevator, go back upstairs, and then he's like, oh, so it's a back. He was like, it's a back door on the second floor that we have to get into, so we have to take the stairs. And I was like, I have heels on. So he's like, okay, so let's go. So then we're walking, and then he's like, hold on. And then he takes me back upstairs. I said, Dre, I'm not doing this anymore. So then he was like, okay, fine, I'm sorry. So then we go down the stairs, and he opens the door, which I don't mind. I mean, I don't think anything of it, because Dre is like, he tries to teach him things like that. Like, make sure you always open the door for her, like things like that. So he's like, go ahead. I'm like, it's second nature to me. It's Dre. Dre's gonna open the door for any female. So I'd go in, and I just was like, what is this?
What is going on? Yeah.
When I tell you, my heart was just like, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, this cannot be it. Like, this isn't it. I was about to turn back around, and Dre's like, keep going. And I'm like, are you serious? He was like, come on. I'm like, no, like, this is. So it was exhilarating. Like, it was crazy. And then, you know, I can't even tell you word for word for like what he said, because he was talking so fast and so nervous.
Yeah.
But we had like literally a week or two before talked about milestones. Like, we were just talking about milestones one day, and like where we seen ourselves in like a couple years and stuff like that. And he mentioned that in his little speech and everything about how we talk about milestones. And then he's like, here we go, we're about to hit another milestone. And he dropped down on that one knee. When I tell you the little waterworks was going, I couldn't even stop crying when I walked through the door.
Oh.
And I kept telling him, like, the day that you do this, I'm not even gonna cry. I'm a G. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I'm a G.
their door and I walked out and I just started crying. I was like, what are you crying for? He didn't even say anything yet.
I breeze over how stubborn she is. So she was always
finding
saying,
an outfit was bad too.
So she was always saying, make sure that my nails are done for the proposal. And I told her a month or so beforehand, I said, you know what? If anything of this, when I go to propose to you, that's my day. So if anything gets ruined, it's gonna be your fault. I already know.
Yeah.
I already know. If anything gets ruined out of this proposal, it's gonna be your fault. I can. And that was the one thing that she almost ruined. So she was like, yeah, just make sure I go get my nails, like surprise me or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. So I was trying to get her to go get her nails. She shot that back. So then I was being told, well, you got to have a little bit more finesse out of it. I said, you know what? Look, if she doesn't want to get her nails done, then she will be proposed to with whatever her hands are looking.
He wanted me to have nubs.
And I don't care because I have no time for this type of stress when I'm quarterbacking the rest of this stuff right now. And crushing it at work. Like, I'm quarterbacking all this and crushing it at work. I don't have time for her and her nails. So then,
he likes your turtleneck.
Thank you.
He says it's sexy turtleneck.
So then Bianca was like, all right, it can't be that hard. Let me take a stab at it. That back and forth, Bianca was like, wow, she really is tough. Like, I wouldn't even be this tough and this stubborn, especially if somebody was saying they were going to pay for my nails. Because Bianca told her 3 different times, I'm going to pay for your nails.
I didn't care.
She said, I don't care.
I didn't care.
Finally, she was stubborn, but it was because she started doing Krav Maga.
Yeah, I was doing Krav, so like
they didn't want to get her nails done the way that she usually did.
Yeah, because usually I get like, shout out to all my acrylic people out here, but I usually get like my long acrylic nails.
Okay.
So I was starting Krav and I had to like take them off. So like my nails were like so sore and like they were so short. Like they were just like not work, like you just couldn't do anything with them. Like they were just they hurt. And I did not want anybody touching them. So I was just like, no. But yes, like the whole like the outfit thing, like Laura's saying, the outfit, I had to talk to her about everything. Like I was just like, this looks ugly.
Yeah.
This is ugly. I'm not wearing this. Wear this. This is not happening. Like I'm not doing this. Like I'm not even gonna go. I'm not gonna go. But one thing that I can say and that we agreed upon was that I was gonna say after he proposed, oh, we still going to Kona Grill.
Yeah, that was
the that
you say you still had to what?
Going to, and I was like, so we about to leave? Like, where are we going? Are we going to the restaurant? He's like, no, no.
Yeah.
So he's making it up, and for Valentine's Day, that's where we're going because I just talked about it so much.
Okay, no, that's a beautiful story right there, man. Because first of all, shout out to all the friends that was involved, from Dre to Mo, to all your friends, Anisha. Okay, we got Asia in the comments.
Yeah, we had a lot, and it was some people that definitely I really did want to be involved, but it was lack of communication and things like that. So I apologize. I'm going to say that all the time to them because they're here. I apologize that you guys were not a part of it, but we will be a part of the big day. So I'm ready for that. Pumped for that. We're ready.
That's exciting. That's exciting. No, I'm ready. I'm ready for the big day for you. I can't wait until that big day so y'all can celebrate that with friends and family, which is amazing. So yes, that's beautiful. Shout out to Laura in the comments commenting. She said it was like short in the flower. Apparently the nails wasn't it. It seems like so.
No, nobody.
Yeah, the nails wasn't it. According to Deja and Laura, the nails wasn't it.
No, they were so upset. They did not like them. Like they were just so confused. Like this is not you. I'm not understanding. Like what are these things on your hands? Like I was just like,
yeah. You have to go back to Krav like that.
I had to. Yeah, I had to go back to Krav.
Just get something natural.
Yeah.
Look, is he walking around with ugly looking nails or have decent ones? At this point, I didn't care.
They looked like they were just like bitten off. Like it was just nasty.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you wanted to look right for your day, which makes sense. That was your day right there. So, which makes perfect sense. But no, listen, I want to, first of all, this story is beautiful because for one, I got to give a shout out to my good brother Adam because he did all of this in the midst of a global pandemic. So he came through and did all of this in the midst of a global pandemic, which he pulled this off. And you got to shout out Anisha too, just for being, his rock through all of this, and for her, it being her special day, and her, getting the proposal of her dreams and all of those things. So the fact that all of that happened, there was those hurdles, it all turned out, and it all turned into a beautiful moment, which was when Adam proposed. Because I remember it like it was yesterday. Adam and I, again, that's my brother, but Adam and I weren't like in constant communication at the time. So when I had seen it on social media, I'm like, hold up. My brother he just got engaged, and I didn't know about it. So I think I called you that night.
You did.
I called you that night, and I congratulated you that night on getting engaged, because I was like, man, that's a huge milestone. And so I'm just forever proud of both of y'all, and I'm so happy, which is why we do this show, which is why I want to bring y'all on the show, is to celebrate this because it's so beautiful to see. And I just want to say congratulations to you both on getting engaged. If I can tell you both. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. But listen, I want to transition into this game portion, right? Because that's the fun portion of the show, right? We got into right the beginning moments, the rocky moments, then we got into the proposal. But I want to have a little fun too, right? So we're gonna call this game, and the game is called basically who did it first. So I'm going to ask you all some questions, and when I ask you all some questions, you're going to point to the person who you think it applies to. All right. So without even consulting with each other, you're just going to point to them without even knowing who it applies to. So the first one is who cried in front of who first?
That's a lie. When did I cry in front of you? Because it wasn't first. It definitely wasn't first.
Yeah. Like she gave you that look like you better get it together, okay?
What situation? No, it was you.
No. Because when I told you about that time and you were taking your final test, you cried. Boo-hoo. I was not crying. I don't hear that.
Fine.
Okay.
I did cry.
We're going to call that with a draw. But listen, as I'm asking them these game questions, folks, make sure you put any comments, any questions that you have for Adam and Anisha, please put them in the chat. So any questions that you have, place them in the chat right now. And then once we're done with the game, we're going to get to the questions, okay? All right. Oh, what happened? Hold on. I think we lost them, y'all. We lost them, y'all, but they're going to come back. Where we go? We got them back. We got them back. There we go. All right. So please put any questions in the chat for Anisha and Adam if y'all have. The next one is, who spends the most money? Oh, okay. She pointed to herself right there. Okay. Got you. Okay. The next one is, who prefers to stay at home the most? Okay. Really? I could have sworn it was going to be Adam.
It's not that. It's so if she wants to stay at home, here, I'm like here. So it's pretty close. Yeah. But yeah, she definitely is the
I'm the at home person.
She's the more at home person. Homebody, so
that makes Anisha, I'm a homebody myself, so I'm with you on that, sis.
I don't like people like that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So okay. So who is most likely to address an issue first? Adam. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm stuck. Once again.
Okay. And then the last one is, who is the better communicator? Adam, were you going with Adam?
Sure.
Okay, all right, we're gonna get that to Anisha. Okay, cool. Okay, no, thank y'all for playing that game. I appreciate that. We actually have some questions in the comments, so we're going to get to that. And so, first of all, shout out to everyone on Facebook and YouTube for tuning in. All the comments, all the questions is greatly appreciated. I appreciate the love and support, y'all. The first question is from my girl. Shannon Burke. Shannon being here every week, so I got to shout out to Shannon. Shannon, we're gonna get you a check, okay?
Yes.
He said, "Do you think faith and spirituality are both important in your marriage?"
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
And that's I would say like that's I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker for everybody because some people can overcome certain things. But for us, that was one of the main things that we talked about. Growing when you're growing up, Adam can tell you his background and things like that, but he grew up in a very more stricter Christian home and things like that. We grew up in a Christian home and things like that, but wasn't strict. Like we would go to church and stuff like that, but we didn't do, everything. We didn't go to like Bible study on like Wednesdays and stuff like that. But I knew who God was, and I made sure, I had that relationship with God. So once you get older and you're not told to go to church every Sunday and stuff like that, you kind of fall off of those things. Yeah. And we had so many times where we were just like, we need to get back into it. Like, what are we doing? This is not, we are not, this is, if we want a relationship with one another, we need to have a relationship with God. Like, that's just point blank, period.
Yeah.
And we did go through, some very horrible times where, everything was just tested, jobs and stuff like that and things like that. So we knew the problem was we did not have God in the equation. We needed to find a way, some kind of way, to get back on track with those things. We're not the best at what we do. We don't go to church every Sunday. We get into our Bible though, for sure. Make sure we pray. That was something that I wanted to make sure that I took on more in 2021. So like towards the end of 2020, maybe like around September-ish, made sure I prayed every night when I got in that bed. And I still do it. You have to make a habit out of things. So that's a simple thing. And that was something that I knew that I could do. My pastor, she's my cousin, but our pastor, she's a family pastor. She was doing a healing experience on Thursdays. That was like the best thing that we could have done because we would take those things that she would teach us and put it into our life.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So, yes, I will say that's very important in a marriage.
That's beautiful. That makes things a lot easier. It makes us a lot easier to deal with and manage, and the relationship to grow and not to hit any plateaus. We're gonna hit hurdles, we're gonna hit obstacles, but and everything has to go through a pressure test at some point in time. So we really get to see, how far we've come through all of these pressure tests that we've been put in, and how we always come out on the other side of it, and we can directly attribute that to our faith and what we're doing.
Yes.
To stick with it. It's definitely, we're not like, we're doing this all the time.
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect.
Yeah,
we are nowhere near perfect. But
definitely shout out to my family because like she said, I was in probably a little bit more of a stricter, Christian or spirituality growth situation when I was growing up. So that's also something that I fall back on. Did we lose him again? I know he froze.
Frozen.
You still there, Dwayne?
Yeah, can y'all hear me? Hello?
We can hear you. I can't see you. But yeah, so
okay. Not sure.
So, shout out to my family because we have these conversations often. And it's always nice to have that anchoring and have, a group of people that you can go to keep you straight on what you're supposed to do, and just like, hey, look, that you're slacking on this. It's time to put some more attention into it. So they give a little bit of tough love, but they also are on the other side of that too. But I definitely wouldn't be the person I am today and be able to grow into the leader position that I am in without them. So it's definitely been a total team effort to get us to where we're at.
Amen.
Yeah. Okay. No, very true. So we're having some technical difficulties, folks. I'm so sorry about this. So we're gonna go ahead and make that the last question. But I just want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to the episode. I really do appreciate it. Shout out to Adam and Anisha for tuning in. Next week we got my man Ash and his wife that's gonna be joining us, and they're gonna be talking about their journey. I think they were married 10+ years.
Oh wow.
Talking about their journey and what that looks like. So thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this video. And with that being said, we are out of here. So thank y'all. Peace and love, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.